Hi, I'm Michael. I'd like to give you a quick introduction to ChatPast. Let's take a quick tour of ChatPast to see how instant messaging can become a first-class communication channel for you. ChatPast starts by gathering your chat history from multiple chat programs across multiple computers and stores them on your account. This data is completely private unless you choose to share it. More on that later. Now let's log into ChatPast. We can either log in using an existing account with a username and password, or we can create a new account that is either a free or paid account. But for the purpose of this demo, we're going to go in and log in as a demo user. Here we have an account named June, which has pre-populated chat data. We'll use that. With your conversations stored on ChatPast, you can now explore this information in a variety of ways. First, you can simply browse your recent conversations for any information you need. You could do that by choosing the All Chats link up here, or simply pressing Enter on an empty search term. Here you can see a couple of conversations that June has had recently. She spoke with Jean on August 7th about going to lunch, and she spoke with Ted back in June 11th. Now, imagine a friend or a colleague has shared a website with you. Let's go back to search. Now, this conversation you had with your friend, you know that it was about web design. June is a web designer, works at a web design firm, and she was speaking with a colleague about a new type of UI pattern that they were exploring for their website called tagging. So let's just search for tagging here. And there we have it. On June 10th, June spoke to Simone, and Simone had run across this website called UIpatterns.com, where there were two particular patterns that they compared and contrasted. So here we can see we might want to use a tag cloud, which looks like this, or we might want to use just a tag list, which looks like this. But because of ChatPast, June was able to almost instantaneously retrieve those links. Don't quite remember what the right search term is? We have a robust search engine, so you don't have to remember the word exactly. For example, if we're looking for a meeting, we could simply type the words meet, because maybe they said, what time do you want to meet? Or possibly said, when is the meeting? Here we can see we can find this conversation between Jean and June. They were talking about meeting for lunch. But not only did we match on the meet keyword, we also matched on meeting, because that's a related word. Now, you can also pull out just the information you need. ChatPast automatically extracts important pieces of information from your conversations, such as hyperlinks, phone numbers, and email addresses. We call these artifacts, and they are one of the main reasons you might return to a past conversation. In fact, we think they are so important that we have a special view dedicated only to viewing chat artifacts. And that's this link right here. Looks kind of like a map pushpin. So if we click this, we'll see only the chats that have had either phone numbers, hyperlinks, or email addresses discussed during the conversation. So here again we see those, the tag cloud and tag link that Simone had sent to June previously. So you can see that we have many powerful tools to locate your conversations. But that's only the beginning. Once you've located a particular conversation, you may wish to share this with your friends or your coworkers, or even to save to a business-related application such as SalesForce.com or BaseCamp or Highrise. Let's select that UI patterns conversation again. We'll find it with search. Just search for tagging again. There we have it. Now we can work with this individual conversation by clicking Manage or this little picture right here. We'll click the Manage link. Now we view just this conversation. Across the top we see a couple of actions. First of all, if for some reason we decide we don't want this chat conversation in our account anymore, we can simply delete it. Maybe it's something personal, we don't want to store it, it's something sensitive, whatever the reason, just click delete. You're giving a quick confirmation that you may not want to do this because there's no undo. You can press yes and the chat will be gone. We won't do that for now. Another thing we might care about is what are the hyperlinks and email addresses and so on in this conversation. We can just click View Artifacts, and down at the bottom you see just the hyperlinks and other artifacts that have been automatically pulled out of this conversation for us. Going back to the top, we can also share this chat publicly on the internet. Presently, even though this chat page has a unique URL, it is not accessible to anyone other than yourself. We can make it publicly accessible on the internet by choosing to share it publicly. So we click this link, again, we get a warning saying, are you sure you want to make this chat accessible on the entire internet, because you're taking what was private data and making it public. We'll go ahead and say yes this time. And ChatPast will make a temporary public URL to point at this chat. Now we can take this URL, we can share it on Facebook, we can share it on Twitter, save it in a conversation that we might enter into salesforce.com, wherever we want. When someone clicks it, they'll get a view roughly like this. It says this has been shared, here's the details, and they will not need an account to view this. This is now a fully public page. If you decide you don't want to share it anymore, make private. Now it's no longer shared. If we try to refresh this page, you'll see after a short timeout that it's going to say there's no chat here. Short shared chat cannot be found. Okay, very well. Now the other two options allow you to take sharing your chat history to the next level. Many companies run their businesses on web applications such as SalesForce or BaseCamp and Highrise from 37 Signals. For users of these products, those web applications are central repositories where all communication about contacts, companies, deals, and projects live. However, not all conversations happen inside those software. Some of it is instant message conversations. And for those conversations, it's very hard to share them with your team in, say, BaseCamp. Recall that this conversation is about navigation and web design. June and Simone were speaking about a project at their company. They have this managed in a project in BaseCamp. We would ideally like to save this chat conversation inside of the project in BaseCamp. With our integration feature, that's very simple. We simply click Save to 37 Signals. Gives us our options. Right now you can save to BaseCamp and Highrise. You can see Campfire will be here soon. Click BaseCamp. Now we know there was a message going around our project about different types of UI patterns. So here we go, and there it is. What about tagging? So we can add an additional comment that will be pre-pinned to this chat conversation. If you need to review the chat conversation, it's here. We'll say, I think we decided to go with tagging. Click Save to BaseCamp. Again, we get a warning or a confirmation dialog saying you're about to make this what was relatively private information. You're going to take this and you're going to put it in somewhere more public than it already is. Not necessarily the whole internet, but maybe your whole team could see it, for example. Well, in this case, we'll say yes, that's fine. ChatPast will securely communicate with 37 Signals directly. They will create a new comment based on your particular message, in this case that we chose. It could have been a to-do item or a milestone as well. And then just for your convenience, we give you the link so you can quickly jump to that location in BaseCamp. Now let me show you a few final things. You can get in touch with us by reading our blog, following us on Twitter. In fact, there's a couple of ways. Let's look over here. You can, again, read our blog at chatpast.com. You can contact us on Twitter at chatpast for the company, or at mkennedy to follow me, the founder. You can send us an email, or you can even give us a call right here. Finally, if you have a suggestion or a problem, you can click the Help and Support tab, and we get the ability to create a new problem report, or create a suggestion, or search the knowledge base, and so on. That's probably the best way to start working with help. I hope you have a better understanding of ChatPast and how it can uncover a whole new communication stream in your chat history and make that a pleasure to work with. Now it's your turn. Try ChatPast for yourself by creating a free or 30-day trial business account now. Thank you for your time.